What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is the Ash Said It Show. I appreciate all the love and support, 1,900 plus episodes, 500,000 streams. You guys are the greatest. Thank you so much for your love and devotion since 2014 and growing and all the good things. Today, I have one of my favorite people who has been like so difficult to find, y'all. I mean, it has been almost impossible, but I think I got a strong arm on him right now. All right. I've got singer, songwriter, author, creative mind, the wonderful Ryan Lill-Washington. Ryan, how are you, darling?
Hello. I am doing so good. How are you? It's so good to talk to you.
Oh, my goodness. I'm doing great. I know it's been a minute since you've been on the show and everything, so much has happened since. OMG. A lot of stuff is
truly so much.
So much stuff. So, you know, we met you as the singer, songwriter, producer, creative, and now you've taken on another title as author. And that
I have. It's a weird title.
But it's been taking over. Like, I literally cannot go on social media without hearing about one of your books. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to Ryan. Oh my gosh, I got to get him. We got to make this happen. So I'm super glad that you were able to come with us today. So to start things off, okay, the author thing, the writing thing, the books, where did this even come from? Were you always working on this?
No. It's kind of weird. Honestly, I was on tour, and I was bored, and I have been, this is so bad. I was complaining about the fact that there's nothing ever good on TV. And when I watch a show and it gets canceled, I'm so devastated. So I was complaining to my mom, like I normally do. And one day she was like, well, why don't you just write something yourself then? Like, I think she was kind of being like a jerk about it. But when she did it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to. And so sitting on a tour bus, I started writing. You know, I was coming back from Nashville and I started writing. And next thing I know, I felt like I was actually doing a decent job. Like, I was letting some friends read it and my siblings were reading it. And they were like, oh my God, like, you should actually finish this. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to finish this. So I did. And then here we are.
That is so awesome. Can you talk a little bit about the writing process of, you know, how it's different from writing music? Now you're writing fiction.
Yeah. Honestly, I'll let you in on a little secret. I think that it's actually easier than writing music.
Really? Wow.
I do. I feel like when you've got a story that you don't have to, like, fit into, like, a 3-minute sound clip, you know, or you don't have to make it sound like something that rhymes or whatever. You can actually give detail. It's so much easier for me to dive in and tell a story that has, one, nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And two, isn't going to offend somebody else, hopefully. So I find like it's easier to write because I get more time to sit down by myself and just, you know, create this story in my head or like let a story out of my head. And I feel like with songwriting, you have to be kind of like, you've got to be careful. You have to make sure that it rhymes. You got to make sure that it sounds good over music. Like, it's just so much more difficult. So I feel like book writing, I hate to say that it's easy because it's definitely not something that I think is easy. It's not for everyone. But I personally find it easier to do than songwriting.
Gotcha. Okay. So I want to talk about, I believe this was the first book, On the Wire?
Yes, On the Wire.
Yes. So where did the inspiration come for this book?
I kind of drew a little bit from myself, being like an openly gay man that has come from Charleston, South Carolina. It wasn't like the easiest, like of upbringings here. Like the South is just kind of
backwards, forwards.
It's a different world, okay? Yeah. And I wanted to write something that I could put my own humor, like dark kind of humor into, and like maybe a little bit of like self-deprecating humor about myself. So I made this character who has grown up in Charleston, and I wanted it to kind of reek of all the things about Charleston that I love, but I wanted to make them a little dark. And so I just kind of, I don't know, I went with it, and I had this storyline in my head, and I'll be honest, like this is, I hate admitting this, I had no clue what I was going to write about. I never outlined any chapters. I never had anything written down like notes. It was just this fly by the seat of my pants, I'm going to write something, And when it was done, I went back and added a few little details here and there, but I wanted it to be based on someone's kind of coming of age in Charleston, and then I wanted to make it a thriller. So that's just what I went with.
Yes, wow. That is outstanding. Like like I said, I haven't read it yet because I've been everywhere also. I'm back in Georgia.
Yeah, you're booked and busy. You're booked and busy.
I am booked and busy, but I'm on. No, I definitely am gonna get the book, because I like thrillers. I like stuff that's got like that extra layer. You got to peel back the onion, and really get into something.
For sure.
So I'm super excited about checking that out and being about that. So, what was the editing process like for you for the book, for the first one?
Oh, God. Let me let you in on some inside trade secrets. As an indie author, of course, me being me, I thought, I can do this all by myself. It's going to be great. And I wrote it and I put it out after maybe one or two little read-throughs of me correcting it myself. And, I'm a pretty big English buff, but you miss so much. That's why people pay editors to edit things. And so actually right now, as we speak, On a Wire is going to be re-released in about 2 months, fully edited. Like, I can say fully edited because it's going to be better edited than what it is now. Which is why with book 2 and now the new book 3 that's going to come out soonish, I actually have an editor who's actually editing for me. But I will tell you, it is a process that is... It is illuminating, but it is also heartbreaking, because you think that you've got something down pat, and then, when somebody reads it, they're like, yeah, this is not it. You got to change this. You got to reword this. And you've got some authors who will fight that, tooth and nail. They're like, no, I'm not changing this. That's not me.
Right.
I have had plenty enough constructive criticism throughout my career in music to know that if somebody is telling you this doesn't work, it don't work. It doesn't work. So that's the editing process for me. It's writing, and I do a once-over. My sister was a double English major, so I let her read first, too, and she'll give me her ideas, and then I do my rewrites, and then I'll send it to my editor. So I send them the best copy I can muster, and then I let them destroy it.
All right.
So I let them rip it apart and send it back to me and say, this is trash, do it again.
Yeah, but I think that's why it's good to have more than one set of eyes on something like that, though. Because
for sure. My editor reads through 6 times before she finalizes the book.
Yeah, no, I think definitely 2, 3, 4 minds are better than just the one. Because trust me, we don't know everything. We do not. All right, so the books. So On a Wire, and then Into the Pines. Is it going to be a collection?
Yeah.
Are these continuations? Are these different stories?
Okay, so Into the Pines, which is the book that right now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't know if you saw this, but it is currently sitting at number 1 in 6 categories on Amazon right now.
Oh my gosh.
And I am under number 500 in the entire Kindle store. So all of the books that are on Kindle, I am top 500 right now, which has never happened. And for it to be a queer, LGBTQIA plus thriller, I am just ecstatic that people are even giving it a chance. Aww. I even wrote on Facebook yesterday, I don't care if people hate it. If they want to get on there and buy it and read it and then rip it apart, you go for it. You do what you got to do. But that book is On a Wire was a standalone.
Okay.
It's a one and done. Once you read it, I think you'll understand. There's really no way to continue it.
Gotcha.
No spoilers, but it's not something that can be continued. But Into the Pines is actually part 1 of a 2-part series, and the second book comes out on Valentine's Day this coming year.
Ooh, that's going to be nice.
So, and
yeah,
and so Into the Pines is. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I am so proud of this book. I'm so proud of the story. I want to give somebody asked me online, and I think you and I have talked about how people are so cruel online sometimes. But I had somebody ask me, and I quote, "Are all of your books going to be gay?" And I wrote her back and I said, well, I don't think the book is gay. I don't know if a book can self-define, but I said, I am going to have main characters that are gay. Now, I don't want that to be the storyline.
No.
I just want to include queer characters in a story that anybody can read.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when I was young and I was reading books, like, you didn't hear about a gay character, and if you did, it was because they were bullied or beat up or made fun of.
Right.
I want main characters in my books that are queer presenting that have nothing to do with their storyline.
Right.
You know, they're just gay human beings. So in this book, it is actually two queer women of color in Into the Pines, and it's basically based on a serial killer that is targeting women in the foothills of South Carolina and North Carolina, and a young podcast host who is, you know, a young black queer woman, and she is going looking for one of her ex-girlfriends who has gone missing. And I did a lot of research on this book. I had a lot of people read over it and tell me what they thought could be fixed and what could be better. And it's a very quick read. It's a pretty short book. I'd say it's a little less than 250 pages, paperback. It's a fast read, and that's the way I write. Like, I like getting to the point. I like it to be, I wanted it to be creepy, but not like to a point where you can't read it.
Right.
And, you know, I read a few, like, thriller books that when they start going over, like, murder scenes or death scenes, you know, like, it's so hard to read that, like, I don't even want to finish the book sometimes. I wanted to give you a scary, creepy feeling without making it so bad that people who don't like scary won't read it, you know? Gotcha. And I'm just really proud of it. I feel like it's a mixed bag of emotions in the comment section. You got people who really liked it, and you've got people who genuinely hated it, you know? That's one thing, Ash, I will tell you. I have had such a hard time with reviews on this book.
Really?
You know, in the music industry, people absolutely hate your music for no reason, and it really doesn't bother me. Right. Because you don't have to see a lot of, like, written reviews. Yeah. But when you go to, like, Amazon or Goodreads or Kindle and you see this book, it's flooded with people's opinions about the characters or people's opinions about my writing style or people's opinions about me, honestly. I've had some pretty horrible, like, personal attacks in the comment section. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like, you know, it is what it is, but I'm really happy about it, and I'm so pumped about book 2 coming. I just hope that I can finish it the best way possible, you know? Yeah,
no, I would say first and foremost, you should be proud as heck that these people even take a time out of their schedule, like, to write these reviews. And regardless, the good, bad, or indifferent, hey, guess what? You took 2 seconds out there to cuss me out. Hey, where's your book? Yep. where's your, you know, where are your creative texts of that? So, you know,
I feel like there's a lot of critics out there for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I also think that you've managed, you know, through your career from the music till now and everything, you've managed to put on a very professional front for that. And I appreciate you for that, because I know that it definitely is a trying time when people are online just saying crazy stuff to you. I mean, we're all human. You know what I'm saying? So I
try to remember that before I make any kind of commentary, because I have been told by multiple people who are New York Times bestselling authors that are now friends of mine, which is bizarre to say out loud. I've met so many genuinely amazing people during this process of writing and releasing books, but it's very difficult not to respond back to a negative comment when you've got something to say. But it is the most frowned upon thing. People just tell you, let it go. Remember, for every bad comment, it makes the good comments just seem so much more authentic and so much more real. Yeah. You know, that somebody enjoyed this even though somebody else hated it. So that's what I keep telling myself. Yeah.
Like I said, the fact they took time out to do that, you know what, that's still support. We'll take it.
That's right. That's right.
We'll take it. All right. Now, I want to circle back around. What's happening with the music, Ryan? Are you still a creator? Are you still making music? Or is everything just Ryan the writer now?
So, you're the first person I'm telling this to. Ooh, I actually have 4 songs done out of a full-length album that I'm going to put out this year.
Awesome.
But I'll tell you, it's different because, you know, everyone's so used to, like, you know, pop songs and everything being so bubblegum with me and trying to, like, stay relevant in, like, the pop culture. This one's kind of going back to the roots. It's a lot of, like, piano and guitar and vocal. It's really singer-songwritery. I don't know. Everything I feel like is just kind of changing. I'm like coming through like my chrysalis era. You know, I'm about to butterfly the hell out of this year. So I'm going to release this album and hope that people like it for how raw it is.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll tell you, I've been so scared about it because my last 2 tours, I was touring with Davi Crimmins. Shout out.
Yes.
Absolutely adore her.
Shout out to Davi.
She's quite literally the best. She's the
She
best.
She is an awesome human.
When we tour together, I never really thought that I would incorporate comedy into like my showcase, but it's what happened. And now I'm trying to maybe pull away from that a little bit and do just acoustic music, very heartfelt singer-songwriter vibes. So we'll see what 2024 has for me.
Okay. I like the way that sounds, Ryan. It sounds, like I said, we've only just skimmed the surface of some of the things that you've been doing and getting involved in, and I certainly appreciate you always coming through and shedding some good energy, some good vibrations, sprinkling those down on us. And so last but certainly not least, what advice would you offer to the next generation of young authors?
Ooh, gosh. Truthfully, my biggest thing is don't let what people think of your creativity stop you from creating. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions, and you know what people say about opinions. Everyone has one, and it's true. But if you let those people dictate what you're doing, you're never gonna put it out. And art is subjective. It's something that even after being in the industry of music and now books for years, it still kind of like breaks my heart when you come across that negativity, like online or face to face. God forbid someone feels the need to tell you that you're terrible to your face one day. But when that happens, and if it happens, you have to realize that you're not everyone's cup of tea, and what you're writing and what you're putting out might not be everyone's cup of tea. It doesn't mean that it's not good. Gotcha. And it doesn't mean that it's not valid. And so my biggest thing moving forward for anybody who wants to do anything creative, whether it's books or music or a podcast, anything, there's someone out there who needs to hear what you have to say. And whether it's one person or 1,000 people or millions, I feel like if you can reach one person, you're doing better than a lot of people out there who are choosing not to be creative at all.
Wow. That is powerful. I love the way that you put that.
I just feel like, you're talking about being negative or positive. Like, in this lifetime, with everything going on in the world right now, how anyone has it in themselves not to try to be positive, blows my mind. Yeah. There's just so much. You log on to any social media, any news platform, anything. It's just negative. And I feel like if you want to survive this place, the world as we call it, there's got to be some positivity. You have to be able to laugh. You've got to be able to let some light crack through. So I just feel like being positive is the only way to make it through. Yeah, I can second that. Ryan Lill-Washington, thank you for coming through today. Certainly appreciate you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Oh my gosh, you're the best. So where can people get these books, Ryan? So paperback and hardback are available anywhere you buy books, especially online. And ebooks, anywhere you buy ebooks. And right now they are on sale for 99 cents online for any ebook. What? And I'm going to keep that promo going for, I think, the foreseeable future. I just want people to read this book. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm everywhere. Okay, everywhere and on it. And for people that want to get up to date with you and the music, where do they need to go? To Instagram is like my love child, and I am at Ryan Lill-Washington. That's Lill Washington on Instagram, and you can follow my life in very, very highly edited squares. Love it. Ryan, love you to pieces. Much more success. Thank you. To you and your team into the new year. We know some good vibrations are coming. We got a 3rd book coming, so that's going to be awesome. Heck yes. I need all the positivity I can get, and I'm sending it out to everyone. We are taking it, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me, just watch.
Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.